So how important is car sharing from a public policy perspective? And I put that question to Alex Moazed, author of the book, Modern Monopolies.
I think when you think about car sharing and what are the benefits that come along with car sharing, obviously pollution, congestion, just traffic in cities, those are all growing issues that obviously China is experiencing, but the whole world is experiencing. And that's also why you're seeing car sharing platforms boom not only in China, but in the US, Europe, and around the world.
Now, we pulled some of those numbers on car sharing globally. Turns out about 20% of the people in China have used car sharing. They're leading the world there. And in the United States, that number is about 16%. So when you hear that China leads the world in car sharing participation, does that surprise you?
Probably not. They have obviously the robustness and the number of cities, large urban metropolis cities in China versus the United States. There are certainly more of them. Congestion and pollution and these things are obviously a problem around the world, but I think particularly in China, you just see massive populations in these urban environments. It's actually very rare to see in the US or even in many parts of Europe. So a lot of the benefits from car sharing, outside of even just the economical benefits that consumers realize, from a public policy standpoint, there are huge benefits, and obviously it makes sense, and you're seeing the Chinese government really help to do things and embrace these new platform business models. And China also has a really great VC tech startup community, which is growing and certainly starting to rival that of the United States.
China's major cities like Beijing are dealing with major congestion on the roadways. That's nothing unique to China, but to what degree could car sharing help?
So there's really two buckets of car sharing. One is this idea of your GoFund, your car to go, and there's actually been a slew of additional automakers that have gotten into this business in 2017, from Audi to Honda to a variety of players. A lot of electric vehicle makers are launching car-sharing businesses that's kind of like a modern version of, say, rental car companies. You have your own vehicles, you have your own BMW or Mercedes or Honda, Audi vehicles on the road that can then be rented in an on-demand fashion. That's one version of car sharing. The other version is the platform business model version. That's peer-to-peer car sharing. That's me as a consumer owning a car and saying, at least in the United States, people only use their cars about 5 to 10% of the time. That means the other 90–95% of the time, your car is just sitting there. So what if you could rent that out and let other people use that car? That second model, that platform model, is going to help pass along the most benefits to the consumers, to solving congestion problems, and just the public environment at all. Obviously, both of these models will help and reduce car ownership, but the second model, that peer-to-peer car sharing model, is literally now preventing new cars from going on the road. The traditional car sharing model, the GoFund, that model, you still are putting new cars on the road, it's just that you're letting these cars be rented more easily. The peer-to-peer model is where you're taking advantage of all this latent inventory, where those cars are just sitting around. You might as well rent that out, make some money for yourself, and you're also going to get pretty cheap rates if you are the renter and you need a car for a few hours. That's probably going to be the most cost-effective option for you.